5 months after burying my wife, I finally found the strength to clean out her belongings. Among the boxes was her favorite pair of broken glasses. I decided to repair them and keep them as a memory of the woman I loved for 27 years. But when the technician examined them, he suddenly locked the shop door, pulled me into a back room, and whispered words that turned my blood cold. "Check the will, right now, before your next interested strong story with strong bass." My name is Daniel, and until that moment I believed my wife Emily died in a tragic accident. She was the kindest person I had ever known. We built a life together from nothing, survived financial struggles, raised 2 children, and eventually created a comfortable future. Losing her shattered me. For months I barely left the house except for work. Every room reminded me of her laughter, her habits, and the future we were supposed to share. 5 months after her funeral, I finally decided to sort through her personal belongings. Inside an old wooden box were photographs, letters, and her favorite reading glasses. The frame was cracked from the accident that supposedly took her life. Looking at them brought back a flood of memories. I decided to have them repaired and preserved as a keepsake. It seemed like a simple errand. I had no idea it would uncover a terrifying secret. The optical repair shop was small and quiet. An older technician greeted me politely and examined the glasses. At first everything seemed normal, then his expression changed completely. He stared at the frame, looked at me, and asked if the owner was still alive. When I explained that my wife had passed away several months earlier, his face turned pale. He immediately locked the front door and asked me to follow him into the back room where nobody could overhear our conversation. Once we were alone, he carefully removed a tiny hidden compartment from inside the frame. I watched in disbelief as a folded piece of paper emerged from a space so small I never knew it existed. The technician explained that Emily had visited his shop a few weeks before her death. She specifically requested a secret compartment to be added to the glasses. According to him, she seemed frightened and repeatedly asked whether the compartment could remain unnoticed unless someone deliberately searched for it. My hands shook as I unfolded the note. The message was written entirely in my wife's handwriting. She warned me that if I was reading the letter, something had gone terribly wrong. Emily claimed she had discovered financial fraud involving members of our extended family. She believed someone was manipulating legal documents and preparing to seize assets after her death. The note ended with a chilling sentence: "Check the latest version of the will immediately. Trust nobody until you verify everything yourself." I rushed home and located the most recent copy of our estate documents. What I found made my stomach drop. Significant changes had been made only weeks before Emily died. Large portions of our property had been redirected to relatives who barely spoke to us. Even more disturbing, paperwork showed signatures that looked suspiciously different from my wife's normal handwriting. The deeper I investigated, the worse the situation became. It appeared someone had altered documents while Emily was secretly gathering evidence. The following weeks became a nightmare of legal consultations, financial investigations, and shocking discoveries. Experts eventually confirmed that several documents contained forged signatures. Bank records revealed unusual transactions, and witnesses came forward with information they had been afraid to share. The people responsible believed Emily had died before exposing them. They never expected her hidden message to survive inside a pair of broken glasses waiting to be discovered months later. Everything came to a head during a legal hearing. Evidence collected from Emily's note led investigators directly to the fraud. The individuals involved were forced to explain forged paperwork, suspicious transfers, and years of deception. One by one their stories collapsed. Watching the truth emerge was both painful and satisfying. The woman I loved had risked everything to protect our family even after realizing she might not have much time left. Strong ending. As I left the courthouse, I carried Emily's repaired glasses in my pocket. They were no longer just a memory of my wife. They were proof of her courage. 5 months after her death, she managed to save me one final time. And every time I look at those glasses, I remember that the people who truly love us often protect us long after they are gone.